An epidemic has broken out in the world, and a new virus is rapidly turning everyone into zombies. Now you're about to find out what you need to do during a zombie apocalypse to increase your chances of survival. A nurse named Anna shows a doctor the x-rays of a patient who was admitted earlier that morning. He was bitten during a bar fight, and his condition is now getting worse. When Anna's shift ends, she leaves the hospital and notices that all the ambulances have been dispatched on emergency calls. The protagonist returns home and greets her neighbor's daughter, a girl named Vivian. At home, Anna is welcomed by her beloved husband, Luis. They are happy to see each other and spend a wonderful time together. In the morning, Vivian sneaks into Anna's house. She looks quite terrifying and bites Luis. The girl attacks Anna, but the woman manages to lock herself in a room. Luis's injury is very serious, so Anna calls an ambulance. The operators don't answer. Meanwhile, Luis gets back on his feet and attacks his wife. Anna fights him off and hides from him in the bathroom. Unfortunately, that doesn't help much. Anna escapes through a window and sees that some houses in her neighborhood are on fire. People are screaming, and helicopters are circling in the sky. Luis catches up with his wife, but she manages to escape in her car. The city streets are in complete chaos. In a state of shock, Anna gets into a car accident, veers off the road, and loses consciousness. We learn that a zombie apocalypse has struck the world. The authorities are unable to do anything and advise citizens to deal with the situation on their own. The number of zombies keeps growing, which means the end of the entire planet is fast approaching. Anna regains consciousness and realizes that she is still alive. She gets out of the car and encounters a police officer named Kenneth. The man concludes that she is not infected and agrees to continue the journey together. They meet 3 more survivors along the way: a married couple, Andre and his pregnant wife Luda, and a man named Michael. The group decides to stick together to increase their chances of survival. They plan to hide in a large shopping mall, but on the way there, they are attacked by zombies. Fortunately, Kenneth and Andre have weapons, which they use to hold the monsters back. The group wanders through a huge warehouse and then makes their way up into the mall itself. It seems there isn't a single living person inside. However, there is plenty of food, clothing, and even a fountain where they can wash the bloodstains off themselves. The men scout the area. They need to make sure there are no zombies inside. Michael hears a strange noise coming from one of the stores. A zombie suddenly lunges at him. Another zombie attacks Luda. The pregnant woman is saved by Kenneth and Anna. Michael also manages to fight off his attacker. All the protagonists are still alive, but not all of them are unharmed. Kenneth has been injured. However, it wasn't caused by zombies, so everything should be fine. The survivors run into 3 security guards: CJ, Terry, and Bart. They are alive, armed, and clearly not happy to see uninvited guests. The guards demand that the protagonists hand over all their weapons. If they refuse, they will be thrown out. The group complies with the guards' orders. All the survivors watch the breaking news and learn that the situation has become critical. No one knows where the zombies came from or how to stop the epidemic. Andre notices that one of the infected managed to wound Luda, but he keeps it to himself. Michael suggests painting a huge message on the roof, so the military helicopters will notice it and rescue them. Before they can do that, the group has to deal with a couple more zombies. They paint the word SOS on the roof and notice that there is also a living person on the roof of a nearby building. It's a man named Andy. A military helicopter appears in the sky. The people wave at it excitedly, but the pilot ignores them and flies on. They need to come up with some kind of plan. The zombies behave like predatory animals. Priests claim that Judgment Day has arrived. They are convinced this is humanity's punishment for all its sins. A large truck appears in the mall parking lot, with a horde of zombies running after it. The protagonists argue with the security guards because they want to rescue the survivors, while the guards believe it's far too dangerous. The argument soon turns into a fight. 2 of the guards are disarmed and locked inside one of the stores, while the third one, Terry, joins the heroes. Anna and Luda guide the truck to one of the mall entrances, while Michael and Andre clear the way for it. Soon, another group of survivors joins the main characters. The newcomers include an elderly couple, Norma and Glenn, an arrogant, wealthy man named Steve, a sweet young woman, Nicole, accompanied by her father, Frank, a man named Tucker, a blonde woman who remained anonymous, and another injured woman. The rescued people admit that all evacuation centers and military bases have been overrun by the epidemic, which means no one is coming to save them. Kenneth's brother was stationed at one of those military bases, Fort Pastor, and he had hoped to go there to find him. Realizing that this is now pointless, Kenneth goes up to the roof and communicates with Andy using written signs. The injured woman soon turns into a zombie and attacks Anna, but the protagonist deals with this problem. Nicole admits that her father, Frank, was bitten by a zombie. This is very bad news because the virus is transmitted through bites. That means Frank will soon turn into a zombie as well. Andre knows that his wife is also infected, so he hides her in the mall's play area. Kenneth locks himself inside one of the stores, together with Frank, and waits for the man to turn into a zombie. When it finally happens, he pulls the trigger. Some time passes. Each of the survivors tries to find some kind of entertainment, playing Battleship, trying on fashionable clothes, working out, watching funny videos, playing cards, and even golfing. However, everyone's favorite game is shooting zombies. One day the power goes out in the mall. One of the generators needs to be restarted. CJ, Bart, Michael, and Kenneth are sent to do it. The men are attacked by a huge crowd of zombies in a dark corridor. Bart fails to escape. The remaining survivors manage to get away, setting off a small explosion as they flee. Luda goes into labor. Andre wants to deliver the baby himself and help the woman he loves. A long time has passed since the bite, so Luda is gradually turning into a zombie. Andre hopes to save at least their child, but at that moment, Norma shows up. She sees that Luda is infected, grabs a gun, and pulls the trigger several times. Andre does the same. Hearing the gunshots, all the survivors rush into the play area. They find Andre, Luda, and Norma there. Sadly, none of them shows any signs of life anymore. There is only one living being left, a newborn baby girl. Or rather, a tiny zombie. The survivors realize that they urgently need to come up with some kind of plan. Steve admits that he owns a private yacht docked at the marina. They could sail to some uninhabited island and wait out the peak of the epidemic there. Yes, it's a crazy and extremely risky idea, but they don't have any better options. They can use 2 buses to reach the marina, but first, they need to reinforce them as much as possible to protect themselves from the zombies, for example, by covering them with barbed wire and equipping them with weapons. A dog runs into the shopping mall. They name him Chips. Anna and Michael build romantic relationships. Andy reports that he has completely run out of food. Kenneth suggests sending Chips to Andy, since zombies aren't interested in dogs at all. Chips can deliver some food and a walkie-talkie to Andy. The clever dog successfully reaches the building, where Andy is stranded on the roof. The problem is that the zombies follow him. Soon, Andy gets in touch over the radio. He thanks his friends for the food, but admits that he's been bitten by the zombies. Nicole decides to save at least Chips, as she has grown attached to the dog. Without telling the others, she gets into the truck and drives to the neighboring building. There, Nicole hides inside a closet to avoid becoming a meal for the infected Andy. Using the radio, she contacts the other survivors and desperately begs them to rescue her. That night, several protagonists organize a rescue operation to save Nicole. They break into a gun store, find the girl and Chips, and eliminate Andy. Armed with a large supply of weapons and ammunition, they head back, setting off several more explosions along the way. Unfortunately, on the way back, Tucker injures his leg. CJ gives him a pistol, but Tucker runs out of ammunition very quickly. When the group returns, they realize that Steve, who was supposed to open the door for them, has gone to the buses instead. Anna lets the survivors into the shopping mall, but they don't manage to close the door in time, and the zombies break inside. Fleeing for their lives, the group fights their way to the buses and heads toward the marina, scattering zombies in all directions. However, there are far too many of them. Firearms, chainsaws, and a massive amount of explosives come into play. One of the buses overturns. The injured Steve manages to crawl out, only to be bitten by a zombie. A horde of monsters attacks the survivors. One of them manages to bite Michael. Anna pulls the yacht keys out of Steve's pocket. The group reaches the marina. To give the others a chance to escape, CJ blows up the bus, cutting off the zombies' access to the dock. Michael admits that he's been bitten and says he won't sail with the others. He wants to face the last sunrise of his life alone. The yacht pulls away, and a gunshot is heard. In the end, only a few people remain alive. Among them are Anna, Nicole, Kenneth, and the clever dog Chips. Soon an island appears on the horizon. The survivors go ashore and encounter a crowd of zombies. Well, that's far from a happy ending.